Hello friends, come on in. Today we're jumping straight into making stuff with some clay because I really want to make some brush holders that can sit on my desk and be all cute and useful. So I've decided to do them in the theme of bunnies. And it's nice because outside, while I'm doing this voiceover, the wind is howling and the rain is battering at my window. And yep, it's feeling pretty moody out there. So I'm going to focus on something nice and spring-like and jolly. Now I'm using Hobbycraft white clay simply because I bought a bucket of it ages ago and it always seems to be there. I just don't seem to use it enough. So yeah, let's just get squidging this. Now I'm not going to show you half of the amount of time that I spent squidging this because seeing as I've had this so long, it is old and it is cold and it needed a lot of zhuzhing to get it into a good state. So we'll just cut here and we'll skip to the nice bit of sculpting. Rolling, 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 rolling. Oh, I always enjoy this bit where you just roll it around in your hands trying to get it all smooth and lovely into a nice ball. Ooh, look at that little beauty. It's so nice and smooth and yeah. It's always good, I think, when you don't really have a plan about how to sculpt what you want to sculpt. I think an egg shape is a good place to start. So that's what I'm doing here. I start with an egg and then I gradually turn it into more of a bean, I would say. Because, yeah, the beans, when you look at cute characters, they often seem to be, their main body shape is often bean-shaped. I mean, I don't know whether that's true, but that is my perception in this moment. So we're going to go with that. So as you can see, this is my first bean shape. I'm just kind of keeping it slightly narrower at the top and slightly fatter at the bottom. And because it's a bean shape, it kind of is lending itself to like a sitting kind of bunny. So now I'm focusing on creating some ears. I'm doing this by just smushing a bit of clay down and then I just cut it into a sort of like a little house shape, I suppose. I do a little point at the top and then take the sides off, and then that is essentially an ear. And then I just sort of get some water and smooth it with my finger, take those corners away, and it turns into quite a nice ear shape. And if you just squeeze then the square bottom bit up, then yeah, there's a nice little ear. I'll just squish it over, score the head, the little bonce there, put a little dab of water on, try and attach it the best way we can. Now, the ears are obviously a very delicate part of this, and in attaching them, I wasn't entirely sure how sturdy they would be, so I made this tiny piece of sausage worm thing, what's it, to wrap around the ear connection. As you can see, I'm just kind of squishing it around, and then I use a tool to kind of push the ear into the sausage, into the head, just kind of mushing it together and then smoothing that out. And it just helped to give it that extra bit of clay to hold on to the head with, if that makes sense. It was delicate, I will say. It was delicate. And then of course I had to do that with a whole other ear, so I'll let you just watch that just for a moment with some nice music. Off you go. How sweet is the tail on this bunny? It's just a tiny ball stuck on a little bean's butt, but Oh my gosh. And it's actually going to be a practical support too, because it's going to help prop this little bunny up as it sits. So that's rather nice. And I mean, even without legs, this is looking really sweet already, and I'm very much enjoying myself making it. I cannot lie. Okay, what next? We have feet to make, my friends. We have feet. So these are pretty much in the same vein as making the ears. I just got a couple of balls of clay, squashed them down, made them flat and into a kind of egg shape, but a flat egg shape, and then sort of positioned them at the front of the body and hoped for the best as I stuck them down. Now, these are super delicate and super sort of flimsy. So, yeah, I was having to be quite careful with them. And I'm not sure that I made them super sturdy. And you'll see something about that a little bit later, I think. Yeah, but for now, this is going well. So focus on that bit just for the moment. It all looks like it's straightforward, doesn't it? And once those feet were firmly on, at least firmly enough for that moment for me, I decided to leave this little bunny alone and let it sit and dry out. Onwards then to bunny number 2, and this one I wanted in a slightly different position from the other one to give a bit of variation, but I still kept to the basic strategy that I'd had before of having a little bean and then sticking some bits on it. So as you can see, there was a little bit of a mishap. This was the second day, so it had been drying for just overnight, I suppose, but it was drying in a very cold shed, so the drying was going slow. But I had realised that I'd forgotten to add in some eyes, so I just popped in just to insert those eyes, and as I was holding the little deer, its little foot came off. But as you can see, with air dry clay, it is easy to rectify the problem. So I just got a little bit of slip, which is essentially wet mulchy clay, and patched up the crack, essentially. That's a lovely phrase, isn't it? Anyway, this is what they looked like a few days later when they had dried that little bit more, and I was very pleased with them. I always really enjoy it when they're in their white clay. I think it's really satisfying to look at. And this one is a little bit less delicate because of the position, and there's no kind of extremities on this one that can fall off as easily, so this one is quite nice to be able to hold, and this is the idea. So yeah, this one can have the brush straight across its little front feet there, but you can also rest a brush between its ears, which I think is very cute. And this one, you can put it straight across the ears like that, or you can go on a diagonal also. I really like that there's a few options. Anyway, let's get a sand in. So here is my metal files just to take off rough edges that are on some of the parts of the bunny. There wasn't loads, but it just kind of smooths that down before we start painting. So these are my two little brush bunny holders that I ended up with, and I think they're really sweet. I did wonder about whether or not to do a second coat of paint, especially on the green bunny, but actually because they are brush bunny holders, I really quite enjoy seeing the brush strokes on there. I think they are very sweet, they're a little bit moody, but yeah, I think they're gonna be very nice companions on my desk while I'm painting. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button. Keep making happy, and I'll see you next time.